number 31. We are back. We are back from Dallas. Jason and I just spent a few days here together. So now we're going to come to you and bring the nuggets. Jason, how's it going today, man?
I think I'm still stuffed from eating barbecue last Thursday night at Hutchins in Dallas. I mean, place was phenomenal. If you don't know, I'll give you a little hint, a little Texas Twinkie action. Trust me, you want to grab one of those suckers. But doing awesome. You guys must have missed me after not being available for last episode. Had some family stuff coming up, which me and Chad are always big on family first, so that's always our top priority. So yeah, wasn't able to make it. Awesome guest. Appreciate him joining the show. But back and getting ready to get after it, dude. After, in case people don't know what Maverick is, John Cheplek and his crew, they have a business leader mastermind. So it's usually quarterly. They're going to throw one in Tahoe as well. But, it's kind of where the top team leaders in the country or even the world, really. I mean, some of the people that were at this event, and they basically open up their playbook to you, right? Teach you all the tips and tricks and everything that you need to do to be successful in the industry. And it's just an awesome group for networking and masterminding and all that kind of good stuff. So it was awesome.
So we've got a lot for you, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of events out there, and me, Jason, and I have been to a lot, and I posted about it. But that's one of the biggest things you see with that group is like I cannot stand. I don't know about you listening or you, Jason, but I can't stand when you talk to somebody and there's just a bunch of agenda or there's just a bunch of like give you a
trying to sell you shit.
Yeah, they're not real. Like they're just not like a human being. Like they don't, cut the act, like just be like a real person. I've always been like that. I think I honestly have always said that's why I had a lot of success early on in real estate was because I used to say before I used to say it always should be like you can have a beer with the person, like the conversation you're having. This is when you're prospecting, when you're dealing with your clients. It should be like you can have a beer with them, or it's like you're talking to a friend at a party or a birthday party or whatever, something like that. And that's not often what you get when you go to these events. You get the agenda, you get the
timeshare salesman sleaziness all over you. It's like, dude.
But not even just the salesman. Then even like with the ones you network with, you get like the facade and the veil and the hiddenness, and I'm not going to tell you that, and and like just.
If you want to know that, you have to join my group or sign up for this special coaching thing, and then I'll give you all my playbook, and you could learn everything that you can. But you have to sign up today. For you, one time, $9.95. Tell you everything you want to know, Chad.
That's how it works. For in most places, and that's just not like and that's the simplest way I can put it is that this place was just didn't matter the most elite or the smallest. Might have been us now, but they just shared it all out there. So what I thought for today would spark a lot of conversation was some real general principles, and I think this would apply to a lot of things that I jotted down that I know to be true or things that I didn't realize were true, but just seem pretty universal. So. One of them that I really, really, really liked was complexity is like the fancy alcoholic.
How good is that? Dude, what a way to start the show, right? With a nugget like that. It's like, man, does that hit home? And kind of what Chad's talking about that is, do you ever have that wine connoisseur buddy that, oh, I had to try this Merlot 1964, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, you drink 4 bottles of wine a day. You're fucking alcoholic. You're not a wine connoisseur, right? Or, we have these guys that, I like to sample on the finest whiskeys or drink. No, dude, you're an alcoholic, right? But go ahead. I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, that's exactly it, man. It's funny because I never really put those together, it really just hits home. I mean, there's not even much needed said because we all know the fancy alcoholic, you know, oh, I drink bourbon or I drink this or that, and I've even been guilty, like, you know, and but it's like I'm gonna make this so complex because and I've been there. The thing about complexity is that shit breaks. That shit breaks, and when you scale it, it's impossible. You know, we talked about it a lot. That's why I was so happy having the guest on last week with Paul because it was about simplicity and just doing it consistently over time. Just a regular dude on YouTube, just sharing himself and not look at what he's doing. You know, sharing his own, you know, his own value of living in the area, and it's simple stuff that moves the needle, and something I'm taking very seriously because I've been known to make things complex. So
yeah, you like to kind of just add system on top of system on top of system, and you know, complication and complex systems, you know, is just a distraction, right? Because if you can't explain it and somebody can't understand it, then the message is being lost, right? So, you know, my coach Matt talks a lot about like, hey, you know, does everybody on your team know what the team standards are? And, you know, I'm working on this with my team, and they're going to be hearing a lot more of it moving forward. But, you know, what's your standard? If you can't explain and communicate it and the team doesn't know it or can't repeat it on cue like that, it's too complex, right? Speaking of simplicity, you know, I mean, 3 days of mastermind and all this kind of good stuff. And, you know, top world leaders are all having the same problem with kind of just keeping it simple. And the biggest thing that, you know, was just have conversations. If you work part-time as an agent, part-time, 5 conversations per day, 20 per week will separate you, or 25 per week, 30 a week, or whatever you want to call it. If you're working 6-day weeks, that's all you need to focus on. If you just focus on that as an agent, you will separate yourself. So
it's so true. So I had a meeting this morning with a new agent, and she's come from somewhere where she made 70 to 100 calls a day. It's a different, you know, thing. It wasn't real estate, but, you know, she was like, it was 20 conversations, like, because I told her, because like it actually wasn't a good fit. It wasn't really working. So, you know, I said, well, look, I want you to have value on this call. And if you can take anything from me being in real estate, you need to have 20 conversations a week at least, you know, and then I, you know, I said kind of the same stuff you did, and it's not that hard, you know, full-time agents don't even do the part-time work and all this stuff, you know, but, and she came on and was just like, well, that's 20 conversations. I used to make 70 to 100 dials a day and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then I'm sure she did, but here's the thing. I've been through this enough with agents and new agents and coaching agents and team agents and me as an agent and all these things. And you hear that on this podcast. You hear Jason say that, and he's so right. It is so simple. However, those people that just, yeah, I could do that. I could do 20 conversations a week. Let me see it. Prove it. In a 52-week year, prove that you can have 20 conversations that are over 2 minutes per week, every single week. Because, like, man, I got a good team member right now. Wasn't in prospecting today. Just like, it's as simple as, like, and I made a post about this recently. It's as simple as just showing up. Like, just show up and just do the stuff daily. It's like, but that, like, it sounds so simple. And it comes back to what I always say lately, and I think I got it from John, is, you know, everybody is capable, few are willing. Like, you know, so if you hear that,
I'm going to turn on your heels on this one. And this goes into the talk on learning, right?
Right.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate and be the agent that says, all right, Chad, you want me to make 5 conversations per day, but I don't know what to say or how to say it. So, or, you know, one of the things that I really took away from, you know, people learn, or, you know, maybe there's a distraction or some kind of trigger that comes up that prevents them from doing the work, right? It could be stress, it could be anxiety, it could be whatever. But, you know, anytime, you know, at 9 o'clock, you got, you know, you're supposed to be doing your prospecting time, and psychologically, for whatever reason, you'll put an inspection that time, or a doctor's appointment at that time, or anything else in that time, and to divert that time that you blocked away for that dollar productive activity, and then say, okay, I'll just do it tomorrow because I can today, right? What do you say to somebody like me?
Yeah. So, I mean, first you got to figure. I mean, I guess, and this comes back to, I think, Carmen. She was amazing at kind of breaking this down at call reluctance, and you
Oh man,
know,
so
we like
good.
yeah, we like to say agents are lazy, and then she's like, well, I don't think they're lazy, and broke down why, and she's really just the granular, and it
Did I tell you
was
the analogy while you're going through that? Did I tell you the analogy that she gave me for that?
uh-uh.
Right? Dude, amazing. So she said, you say I'm lazy, and I didn't say that, you're lazy not for doing it, but she says, you want me to prospect every day, and I don't know how. It's like telling me to go play ice hockey, and I never skated before.
She said that
I'm
in her
like,
book too,
like,
actually.
I'm like, man, is that good? So, okay, as a team leader, and kind of help coaching them up, it's like, am I putting these people out to play hockey that aren't prepared to play hockey? I got to take it down and I got to own that, right? So what I'm doing is to kind of put in, you know, SOPs, standard operating procedures on here's exactly what you want to do. Get them certified on the scripts, right? So they know what to say and how to say it. Get them a easy, simple, right, process that they could follow from the time they get on the phone with somebody till the time that they do post-closing follow-up, right? So they know exactly what to do and all the steps along the way. So there's no, you should have your skates on, you should have your stick, you should have all your pads and gear on, and be ready to get after it.
Yeah. So I think that the part of it, when we come back to your situation, you talk about like scheduling an inspection. I think first you got to address like, okay, so like, why did you schedule it there? Well, it's important. It's like, well, no, the calls we've established it's more important. So, what's getting in your way of making those calls? You got to get to like, oh, I'm just scared. Like you got to go through a few questions to get that. Like, I don't know what to say. I'm scared, whatever. And what she really brought up that I really liked is, when you feel fear of calls, when you feel reluctance to do it, when you feel X, say Y. So like find a replacement. Like, so what helps you, like, all right, Jason, like what helps you get through tough moments in your life? Like give me a word.
A word? Oh man, this is going deep. This is like my Father's Day posts that have been hitting some triggers. But like I said, I have my whys for why I bust it, right? So for me, the way I think about it, and what gets me on the phone every time is I'm like, my whys are more important than their why nots. So if
Fair.
they're gonna
But,
if they're gonna
but
tell me no,
hang on, because I want the audience to get this here. So when you forget that, when you're going through something, when you're faced with a challenge, what gets you through it? What's a word like what would you call that gets you through any challenges?
like a trigger.
No, like grit for me is a good word, right? Like, so
Yeah,
what's that word for you that goes, yeah, I got a lot of this that gets me through that?
I just take massive action, and I just kind of, I don't know, steamroll my way through things is, I'm more ready, fire, aim than ready, aim, fire. So, you know, a lot of the times I don't like to put myself in situations where, okay, you want to be prepared and get after it, right? But I'd rather take the action and learn on the fly than sit and have analysis by paralysis. And I studied, I got all the stuff. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna do it, but I'll start tomorrow.
That's why you get it. That's why you go. But listen, you got to think from the agent's perspective here. You said steamroll or massive action. You could take one of those two phrases. This is what she did, and this was really, really good. So, okay, so now you come back to the agent. Let's pretend you're having trouble, right? Pretend you're
Yeah.
that agent. And I say, Jason, when you feel the fear to do those calls, you need to, as soon as you feel that, you need to think of the word steamroll. or you need to think of the word massive action. When she put it that way, for the guy in our group, it was grit, which I like that one a lot too. Like, so you take some, you have a certain thing that gets you through things, and you take that word, and every time you feel the fear, you replace it with that word. So you stay, so now if you're scared to make the calls, and you probably already do this because you make the calls, right? You say the word steamroll. Okay. So that gets you that chance to, assess the trigger and replace it with the thing that that you overcome. Then you take and you go back and revisit the scripts that were probably already given to you, or if you're a solo agent, Google it.
Or hit us up. I'll share whatever kind of scripts that you want. I mean, like I said, scripts are kind of just a framework of a conversation.
Right.
It's not, you don't want to come off like you're fucking, an infomercial. Hey, Chad, this is Jason Jamboni with EX. Yeah, I mean, people are just going to hang up on you. You want to act natural and have a conversation. That's going to get you, your 2-minute conversations are much more effective than trying to follow it, because, if they don't say the exact response that was on the script, then you're just going to be thrown off. So you have to be able to adapt on the fly for that, for sure.
And then there's another layer of this. It's a lot easier to make the calls if you're sending things of value out, if you're sending, like maybe you haven't, here's the easiest thing. Schedule a webinar about if you bought a home, about how it's gained equity over the last 5 years, and just talk about how it gained equity. And then you'll have a chance to, do other stuff with that, talk about if you have investment properties, how you've done that. Talk about if you've helped buyers and sellers, how you've done that. If you're new to the business, the things I learned in real estate in the first 30 days that I didn't know before I was an agent. And then you have, there's a way, if you haven't been sending people things that are valuable, you have an upcoming event where you can call them and say, hey, hey, I know you came in through Facebook. I know you came in through this. I know you came in through that. Well, I just want to let you know we're doing an upcoming event, and I'd love for you to be on it, because I think there's a lot of nuggets you can take for the real estate space. Would you be interested in that? Right. And you can just have kind of an upcoming event. But if you're regularly sending valuable things to them, it's, hey, did you get the thing about the thing?
How good is the did you get script, right? Hey, did you get the thing up the thing? Love it. Yeah, it's an easy follow-up question. Open-ended, end it with a question, right? I mean, it's so easy, right? But let's move on from that, because like I said, it's a 3-day event. 4 speakers in the morning, then a break, and then 4 speakers in the afternoon and a break. So you do that 2 days, and then the third day, we'll get into we'll end it with the third day. I think that would be a good ending spot. But I think I got a 3-letter word for you that kind of sums up a lot of the mastermind. KFR. You wanna go down that rabbit hole?
Keep fucking recruiting.
Keep fucking recruiting, right? Solves a lot of your problems as a team leader.
Well, no, it's not just a team leader. It's everybody. Well, cool, because this is really good, actually. I like this. So I did this with a team member. I told him KFR. I told him, yeah, my job is to keep fucking recruiting, because it's showing. Well, I mean, okay. So the mindset there as a team leader is you're showing somebody else who's willing to do the work that you're being lazy, whatever you want to call it, that you're avoiding. You can call it lazy, whatever. But the work that you're avoiding, and there's reasons that we can coach that. But for right now, for KFR, it's showing somebody else that's doing the thing that you should be doing, and they're getting the result that you want because they're doing the thing that you're not doing, and that's all it is. But it's also then, so you're not a hostage to people who aren't doing what they need to do to get the job done. But here, and I showed him exactly this. But then I told him, I'm like, this is no different for your buyers and sellers. You need to keep fucking recruiting, because if not, you'll be a hostage to the seller that won't reduce the price because they think they can get 50K more than the market will bear. Even though you've had 30 buyers in the house and clearly they're full of shit because it won't sell. If 30 buyers in your house and you get an offer, you got a problem. We did our job. We got the buyers in the door. Your house didn't do its job, and you're not willing to get it to do what it needs to do, which is lower the freaking price. So now you're a hostage to them because you won't go recruit more sellers.
So good. Yeah. KFR if you're an agent, KFR if you're a team lead, right? And like you touched on it, KFR if you're an agent, because you need to keep bringing in more and more clients. If you have one buyer and you're sitting there saying, oh, well, they're not buying because of interest rates or whatever, it's like, okay, well, find another one that's, ready to buy now, or has a different situation where they're going to move a lot quicker. Or if you have a seller that's giving you a hard time about dropping the price, or maybe unmet or unrealistic expectations, like, well, go find another seller. Then you won't have that problem. The same thing with team leads that, hey, I have an agent that won't make their calls or won't do this. Well, it's like, well, find more agents that are willing to do what you need to. Or maybe as a team leader, and this is something that I'm going to be working on, is like, train to the new standard, right? This is the expectation coming into the job, that you're going to make X amount of calls per week. You're going to keep all your smart lists all cleared out, XYZ, if you want to be on the team and generate or getting team provided leads as well.
Which is, I was going to hit a lot of these general principles, and this is perfect for one of them.
Because this is what we do.
Well, I needed this one, and you probably needed reminded of this too, and this is with buyers and sellers, and it's with agents from a team leader or recruiter perspective, but you need to emotionally connect with the people, but not emotionally attach. Like, connect with them, be on the same page, care about them 100%, but don't attach to them when they won't do the shit that you would do in their shoes. It's like buyers. I have some buyers right now. I got some buyers right now that just, can't figure it out. But if I was in their shoes, I wouldn't be playing this game. Like, when I buy, like forget the commission side of this. Like, when I buy a house, look, like, it's easy. Like, we go through like the wide. Okay, we break it down into the couple areas. All right, we're down to 2 school districts. Okay, what's it getting our price range? Okay, like, it takes me like, dude, if I was to buy a house right now, I'd have a house in a week. Like, it's just it's coaching like buyers and sellers. Is actually the more and more I coach agents, it's the same freaking thing. They don't want to see. They don't want to acknowledge that they want this for this, and that doesn't work. Like I want 30 deals a year. I don't want to call anybody. I don't want to be on the phone. Then don't. Then just go find a job where you don't have to call anybody, which I don't know what that is, because in my experience, everything you got to talk to people, so it's good luck. But anyway, it's the same thing. And it's just like, so the point is like, because we all do this in all of our lives. It's just where we attach to other people's problems but we're not them, and we wouldn't do the things and the micro decisions to be them. So emotionally connect with them, have empathy, care, do that, but do not attach to them. Do not attach to them.
Yeah. I heard something on a podcast recently where they're like, and it really, hits hard when it says you're making exactly the amount of money that you should be making based on your relationships, the time that you're putting in, and your commitment to the job that you have. So if you're making $25,000 a year, or you're making $250,000 a year, there's a big difference on the amount of activity that's needed in order to hit those levels. So I would say, no, awesome stuff. I mean, for time's sake, you want to talk about, wrap it up with the added day 3.
Yeah, so day 3.
Impromptu day 3.
So this is my third one, and Jason's second, Maverick. But they've always done 2 days of speakers, and then this one they tried something new. And on the third day, we basically came into the conference hall or whatever, the room, and we had 2 or 3 chairs, and then a group of like 10 or 15 chairs in a circle around it, and there were stations. And we just went and it was ask any questions on really anything was fair game, but there was general buckets. Like, this is recruiting, this is ops, this is lead conversion, this is, coaching, like just various stations. And I mean, man, like, so to be clear, Jason and I went to this conference before. 2 days of the highest of level speakers, so many notes, pages of notes, great stuff, nothing held back, true value, but 8 hours a day for 2 days. We were in there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I got 5 times the value in that amount of time.
It was crazy. So yeah, like Chad said, normally 2 days. So I booked my flight to leave at like 7 a.m. And then they announced, hey, we got this third day with these roundtables and, like you said, leadership, recruiting, ops, database stuff, all kinds of different ones. I'm like, dude, I'm just missing my flight. He's like, what? He's like, you don't care? I'm like, I'll figure it out once it's over. I don't know. I'll just go to the airport and figure it out. End up getting home around 2 o'clock in the morning that night, but I wouldn't trade it for the world, dude. It was just, like I said, the amount of, one-on-one access with, the speakers and all that kind of stuff is just priceless. And you ask individualized questions directly pertaining to your business. Does it get any better than that?
And the amount that they'll share. I mean, my phone was resetting it because of a problem, and I didn't get a chance. I was trying to. Dan Beer did a spot where he put up a video of him going through a kind of a coaching call with one of his team members, and I really, really wanted to capture that.
He posted that in the Facebook group.
That was what I was getting to. Is like I couldn't get a chance to get it, and somebody went in the group and just said, "Hey, can I have a copy of that video of your coaching call?" He's just boom. Here's like the Google Drive link. It was just like, I mean, wow. What an amazing environment. It really they walk the talk. They're not hollow words with those people when you talk about contribution and all that stuff. But coming back into this, I mean, like I look at my like where it's going. Like I'm gonna give you. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you my list because give it all away. Hold nothing back. Here's my takeaways from the conference, and Jason, I'll see what you do from there. But agents need to be working 100 leads at a time, and I actually got this from you, Jason. Even side conversations, but well, it was said on the thing too, but really got this from you. But agents need to be working 100 leads at a time. Throw them back in the pond. They can go fishing when they want, but they need to have 100 people and go deep, not wide. Focus on the top 100. And we've all heard that before, but we probably don't practice that. I know I'm guilty. So go deep, not wide, top 100. You've got to have 20 convos a week with those people. Every single week, you've got to find it. Like you've got to go to the gym consistently. You've got
I want to correct you on that, right?
What?
So if you're under 36 transactions per year, you should have less than 75 leads in your database. If you are over that amount, then you could have up to 125 leads in your database. Anything more than that is unmanageable.
I'm writing it down.
That's why we do what we do. See, you're setting up your guys for trouble, right? So kind of what I did before even knowing this, just working with my coach on it, it's like I stripped everybody back down to 25 leads. Give me your top 25. And then every week we'll do a sales meeting. Who's your top 5, most likely to transact next? All right. And then get comfortable with your 25 and then start adding leads. So then that way it's not overwhelming at first, right? You can kind of get a feel of who you have and then start taking new business as needed. But, that new business that's going to come with, some handcuffs kind of, there's going to be those daily standards. If you want new leads, you're going to have to be making your 25 calls and 2-minute conversations per week, or else you're not going to have access to that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I just want to correct you on that, but go ahead.
Appreciate it. That's really good. I got it all written here too. Staying simple, biggest thing. I mean, that and conversations were the most, every speaker said something along the lines of simplicity and conversations, I feel like. From a team leader perspective, and I've thought about it before, but never did it. Renting out a movie theater. He did it for his start of the year, like State of the Union. Yeah. Cheap way to do that. I know the prices for movie theater rentals because I've looked at it before for past client parties and stuff like that. So really, really good there.
Thinking about doing that now. We have a lot of families on the team with our support staff and agents. I already have my admin today looking into Inside Out too. See if we could all go and take the team and just have a little out of office getaway and see if we can make that happen. So stay tuned on a future episode to see how that goes, and we can kind of break down the costs and all that kind of stuff. But like you said, we're in the people business, right? It can't always be crack the whip, do your 20 calls. It's like, look at, man, you gotta, develop the relationships and make it fun and all that kind of stuff, and set up an environment that creates that competition and creates that camaraderie where, hey, it's not you versus I, it's us and we, right? So
Yeah, well, and what it is when you look at the conversations, it's like, what do you need to do as an agent to be successful? Well, you need to speak to people, and this is what you need. Otherwise, people get their license and they play office. They sit in trainings, they learn the contracts endlessly to the point of confusion, and they go take their free time and take too long of a lunch or play video games or do whatever. I don't even know what they do because all I do is work. But like, that's what the point, like the conversations isn't like go crap the whip and just be like a freaking robot. I think the conversation is just to remind you is like, hey, you want to have success in real estate, you want to help people buy and sell houses, have conversations with people. That doesn't mean you have to cold call for sale by owners and expires. It means you have to have 20 conversations about real estate that last over 2 minutes. Boy, couldn't you do that in person at an event with your friends and family? Like that, ask them, what do you think my home's worth? Because every party I'm at, that's what somebody says to me.
yeah,
Like,
off topic, right? So just in the lieu of Father's Day this past weekend, and kind of staying on track and on mission. So last year for a gift for Father's Day, I got a video game, Legend of Zelda or whatever, the newest one or whatever. And anytime somebody gets me something like that, I always kind of see like how long should it take to beat it, and it's like 160 hours. I'm like, I have not opened it. My kids always tease me for getting me it and then not playing it. I'm like, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I don't want to be, instead of doing my prospecting and all that kind of stuff and making my calls in the morning, I don't want to be fucking waking up and I'm in front of the Nintendo like and total distraction. So, but yeah, go ahead.
now you got me excited because like I had these general principles I was going to go through, and then we've kind of I like them, but it's funny because you just hit on one. This was another one I wanted to bring from earlier, but
tee it up for you again.
Fun is not escapism. Fun is winning.
Oof. Mic drop, right? I mean, what are you in this for? Right? You want to win. I mean, it's not one of those things where, oh, you're too competitive, blah, blah, blah. It's like, don't you want to win? Don't you want to provide for your family? Don't you want to be successful? It's like, yeah, so do I. Well, let's do it together, right? Arm in arm. Let's lock in and let's get after it.
Well, and it's impact. Like the money is a measuring stick of your impact. And like I know I say it a lot, and I hope I say it a lot more. My mission is to help people become the best version of themselves as a result of the real estate business. So like if I am making more money, I am doing more of that mission, at least how I've set it up. Like when you truly integrate like a real mission and you tie it to a measuring stick like money, that's becomes the game. And it's a lot of times we go to slay the dragon in the video game because it's a lot less scarier than slaying the dragon in real life. It's a lot easier to go have to fight 20 bosses than it is to have 20 conversations with real human beings in a week, especially in today's world where we just want to Uber and Amazon everything and just not talk to another human being. And
I just had a conversation with my cousin on this. Now he's very religious, right? And he's like, yeah, it's not all about the money and this and that. And I go, you follow Christ and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Well, poor people can't help people, right? I mean, they can, but I'm saying like it takes money to do that. Because he was looking at buying an investment property, and I could see it in his face and all that kind of stuff where the profit would be a significant amount of money, maybe a couple $100,000. I'm like, think of all the good you could do with that. And it's not that whatever, it's like, dude, you need money to be able to make that impact or donate to the causes that are important to you. That's the right thing to do.
It's a freaking tool. Like it's a tool to measure our impact, to trade. Like it's just instead of bartering, we have money. Like of course greed can come out, but greed can come out of a lot of ways. There's not just greed and money. Like greed is just wanting too much of something more than your kind of like your unfair share, I guess. But like Eh, It's yeah. I mean,
Let's get back to what you call. I don't want to go off on a tangent on it, but you get the gist, right? So, any other topics that you want to kind of kind of go over with what you learned?
I had two left that were my main takeaways, and I think I've at least laid them all out there so somebody can copy my playbook and take it. Is one was texting before you call, and I think this is mostly. I didn't really ask, but I'm pretty sure this is because of iPhone, unless because I don't think Google or Androids do this. But that said, most people have iPhones. It's like 60%, so this is good. Um, so you send a quick text. Hey, this is Chad with EXP. I'm going to give you a call on the whatever, on the thing I sent or the inquiry you made or whatever, and then call, like just text and then call. And the main purpose isn't just so that they're aware. It's so that your phone, when you pick it up, you ever see when it says maybe this person? Well, it's because your phone will read the text and associate that number with that name. And I've seen that on iPhone before, so I'm pretty sure that's why it's being done. So that's a big one. If you are making calls, make sure you say, hey, this is blah, 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 calling you about the thing, and then call like literally, like they said right before. And these are people that have worked a ton of databases. I like that. I like that.
Oh, that's a good nugget. I didn't catch that one. Was that in the third day that you got that?
It was, yeah, it was.
We forgot to debrief on the third day about what you got when I got. That's where I got the 75 125 too. Was third day stuff.
See, we did.
Oh man, we're gonna have to have like an hour-long debrief on it. But no, that's great. And a little other nugget on that is add your follow-up boss number if you have a business line number. Add that to your contact. So when you're sending it, you'll have your cell plus your business line in there too. So I think that's a sweet little nugget there for sure. I like to do the 2 calls, and then text, video text. Hey, it's Jason with EXP Realty. I saw you might have been checking out houses. Let me know when's the best time to get back to you or whatever. You know what I mean? Something short and sweet that you can kind of copy and duplicate when you're not in the mood or feeling your prettiest for video.
And Follow Up Boss does that in the app now.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that because back when I had Follow Up Boss, it did not do that in the app. You had to have like Bomb or something like that. Did you know that already?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did. That's a change because, and actually, I had it like a year and change ago. So it's got to be a pretty recent change, at least from my what I saw. But which speaking of, and I have one more point to make. But speaking of sidetrack, when you're in these rooms, there's also an accountability factor that comes with it because you watch others and they'll call you out on your shit. They'll ask your numbers. Well, not like ask your number, but they'll really. Well, my last point that I'll make in a second, but they don't let you off the hook. They want to know how to really help you. They want to know the details, and but they also push you. And one of them was even a lender that we connected with. He was really good, and he was in my group when we went around the stations. And it wasn't even just me; it was the other guy had a different CRM, and so did I. And it's not that you need one CRM, but here's the thing. He like took a rant for a second because we didn't have Follow Up Boss, and he's like, I don't know why you guys don't have Follow Up Boss. He's like, I'm a lender, like I'm not an agent, but like the best of the best are in here, and they have Follow Up Boss, and you guys don't. Like, what are you doing? And I mean, I have my BS reason why I didn't, but then I'm like, he's right. We got it today. We got it back. We have it. But anyway, so which leads me to my final point, which is this perfect transition to it. I got this mostly from John. I think just from John, but I saw it in everybody. And I feel like the higher the level, the better they practice this was no vagueness. Don't be vague. And I saw this. I've been guilty of this. And I watched it with another team leader who asked the question, and John being John gave it to him right back. He's like, do you run a team? And the guy's like, well, yeah, kind of. No, do you run a team or do you not run a team? He said, see, you're being vague with me and you're being vague with me. Imagine when you're leading other people and you're being vague with them. So they don't know what the hell to do. And this is with buyers and sellers too. Don't be vague. Tell them what they need to know. Cut the shit. Like
clarity is kindness, right?
And that's definitely something that, I've been guilty of at times. So, Don't be vague. Don't be vague.
Yep. Now, I mean, I'm looking now. I probably have 20 some, maybe 30 pages of notes on just all kinds of different topics there. I think you hit the needle right on the mark there. I mean, 30 is kindness. You want to be clear on your vision for the team. You want to be clear on the goals, and you want to be clear on the daily standards of what's expected out of each agent, right? Then you want to make sure that they're trained up to those standards, so they know exactly what to do and how to do it, right? And then inspect what you expect, right? So if this is what you say that is the standard, are you following up for that, and then coaching throughout the process to make sure that you're teaching them what to do, and then freaking keep going. Just keep the cycle moving.
It's that simple. And honestly, you guys, I mean, anybody watching, like, you got like massive value in that conference, and I just gave you my literal, like, those were like, that's what that's the list I'm gonna do, like that, and you just got it all. So like, the 30 pages of notes, it was simplified down into that. You got everything I'm doing, so go do it yourself and whatever you're doing, and win. But like, I like to say, we're not flying to Mars here. This isn't rocket science, and this is how you get that. Like, I could sit there for days and build some crazy complex system, but really it's that was the one other principle I didn't bring up yet that I was gonna initially thought I would, and then we got sidetracked here into like kind of a different rhythm. But what's your favorite flavor of avoidance? Identify that flavor, which for me, it's building systems, because I'm good at it. Like I like, no shit. Like I build good systems, but like I'm mostly also doing it because I'm avoiding the stuff that actually moves the needle.
Yeah. If you go back, you're doing the avoidance, right? Avoidance of what you need to do. So, I mean, I'll wrap it up with this. When you get into these rooms and you get into these masterminds, be present.
Right.
You want to be taking in all that kind of stuff. Leave work till after the conference or between breaks. How many times did we see people there that were on their laptops the whole time? It's like, well, what the fuck are you doing there? And it wasn't like, hey, I'm taking notes on my laptop. It was like, I'm getting work done. It's like, and then trying to hear what people have to say. I'm like, what are you doing? Why not just stay home and, watch the recordings at another time if you can't. Like, what's that urgent that you could do it? Secondly is, think big, right? I mean, life is short. Get yourself around people that are doing better than you, that are willing to contribute and help you grow your business, because, you think you're doing XYZ and you're a small little broker and, you're the top dog. And then you see somebody that comes out and they're like, yeah, our team did 4,000 transactions for $3 billion. And it's like, holy shit. All right. Time to put my big boy pants on and get after it, right?
I'm kind of happy, when I moved, that was a big deal. I mean, back, not that I had solved everything back home, but we were a top team in our county, and we joined the country club, and we did the things, and we felt good, and our house, we could, we just always wanted to be able to pay it off, and we could, and then I moved to Florida, and I laugh because like people's boats are worth like 3 times what my Florida house is. It's like oh, there's a bigger game. And that's just an example. It doesn't mean to move markets, but it's just that same principle of like, and I've had struggles going through that. That's definitely that's real. But I think I'm when you learn that it's happening for you and not to you, and you continue to grow. Like, I would never. There's no way I would have just sat still back there. I don't even know what I would have done differently than move markets. But like, I would have had to do something new. Like, you just. And that's the journey. Like, that's the game. Keep challenging yourself, make it harder. Like, I think, and we all spend our whole life thinking we just want to find a way to work on the beach and have money just rolling in.
Mm-hmm.
But those stresses that you're trying to avoid, that you think you're not going to have on the beach, well, you're still going to have them. It's going to be too hot and be sand in a weird place. You're going to, like, there's jellyfish for some reason and they stung you. There's still problems. So don't idolize that. Idolize challenging yourself and becoming the best freaking version of who you are, because that is my mission. Because that's what it is. That's what we're here to do.
No,
Be the
I
best
love it.
version.
And I'll end it with this: get out of your comfort zone when you go there. You know, we were gracious enough. We met Austin, a big, runs a big team, #1 team in Michigan. Was gracious enough when we met him at the gym to invite us to lunch or dinner. Uncomfortable, right? We don't know him, he doesn't know us, but we all went and we had a great time. Don't just go to an event and sit with your little clique and you guys just do this. Meet new people. That's what these things are for. So then that way, hey, if we have a referral or anything like that that's in Michigan, now we have a contact for that. And friends. He's a Michigan Wolverines fan and I'm a Penn State fan, so we had a little bit of a budding rivalry there, but like he's like, hey man, they play here, come down, we'll tailgate, have a good time, bring the wives. Hell yeah, that's what it's about. It's all about people, man. Don't sit there, get out of your comfort zone. Don't be a hermit crab in your fucking hotel room all night long and not do anything. Just go to the thing and then go immediately back home. Get after it. That's how you're going to meet people. That's how you're going to build these relationships. And then, that's how you're going to might have new friends for life. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we started to get to know each other too. So at these events. So I'll end it on that. Until number 32, peeps. You guys love me. You guys happy that I'm back?
Oh, so happy, Jason. We needed your presence on here. You know that.
That's right. I'm getting after it. All right, buddy. Till next time.
All righty. See ya.